Hello and welcome to DDOCaSplat. We're a static group that plays Tuesdays at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. We like to challenge ourselves a lot. Usually we end up dead. We might, if we don't this week, it'll be 2 in a row, which will be probably the longest streak for the year, or at least since we come back from the summer. We'll see how it goes.
Definitely the only streak since I've been part of the group.
Yeah, right. I did want to throw out a production note. We are short Bitter this week. He is running from Hurricane Irma. I think that's the right name. So just to take a moment, in all a more serious note, if you are able to help out the folks that are running away from hurricanes and recovering after hurricanes, please do so. I know a lot of people have been affected. Even in our community, there's a lot of people that have been affected, and even in the smaller DDOCast family itself, there's a couple people that have had to hunker down or run away from hurricanes recently. So.
Yeah, I heard on Damsels last week, Lessa was affected as well by Harvey.
Yeah, she's kind of in that neighborhood of where she didn't get hit too bad. She was outside the floodwaters, I think, but she didn't lose power.
Yeah, but I think she said by half a block or something, which is great.
I think it was
That's
half a
amazing.
mile,
But a lot of
But
half a mile. Okay.
There's a lot of people that are still going to be recovering for a long time.
Yeah, it's the worst. It's a record-setting season. I just feel for all those people.
I think Houston had something like 50 inches of rain in a couple of days.
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
A lot of rain. And they're
I'm having a brain fart. Where's this quest again?
House K.
Got it. Okay. Oh yeah.
Probably one of the hardest quests to figure out where to go from from the quest giver, because the quest giver is so out of the way, and the quest itself is kind of out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
No, there was during Hurricane, I think it was Henry, right? Was the first one in Texas. Harvey.
Yeah.
There we go. My apologies to all the Henrys out there. Harvey's your buttheads. But no, during that hurricane it was either there or right about the U.S. Little League Championship team for the 12-year-olds was playing in the championship game. They played Japan for the Little League World Series title.
I noticed we're missing Arcot as well this week. Hopefully he's doing okay.
We're starting out well. I think we went in 2 different directions.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, no, I'm the only one that went the wrong way.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to miss Beavis or Bitter so much. He made me look so much better, taking a lot of damage there.
Oh, there.
Anybody want to jump?
Always welcome. I don't jump too well.
Same here.
About the only useful spell
Anybody
I can
need
cast right
blur?
now. Ooh, I like blur.
I'm perma-blurred.
Okay.
Oh, look at you, Mr. Permablur.
And I will hit us with haste quick. There we go.
This small pool of lava seems to cause the walls in here to sweat profusely.
You know, I don't know if you can paralyze these guys. Something tells me that they're immune to it.
Whoop.
Certainly not doing anything for me.
Oh.
Let's up the damage instead then.
You can't freeze them either.
Yeah, I think Dorgar has some...
Oh, there. It worked. Woohoo! It took a while to proc, but it worked.
Which way is the best way to go first here?
left. Hey, Arcot.
Sorry I'm late.
Ah, you're
Computer
fine.
issues.
We're just starting BAM.
Actually, I'll jump on that too. There was a hefty Windows update today that I was worried about.
Where are we going now?
Relic of the Sovereign Past.
Okay.
Whoa.
What are we? Were we going to do the rest of the desert or no?
Bitter is running away from a hurricane, so we're gonna do that when he gets back.
All right, that's fine.
Sorry guys, I fell asleep at the wheel there.
What was a champion fire elemental?
Yeah.
Barely noticed. Remy over here.
Somebody share out the quest for him?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, I picked it up. I'll be right there as soon as I can.
No problem.
That's in house K, right?
Yes. Behind the bank.
Yes, sir. And on the right side, I made that mistake.
Hey, I can use my new and improved dart.
Ooh.
Look at that! Look at that! Meteor swarm, meteors with a dart. Yay.
Did you put a meteor ruby in it?
Yeah.
He made me give him one so he could do that today. He trying to impress you guys.
First proc, too.
Burning incense.
Yeah.
for
Such
this passage.
geeks.
Whoa.
No,
Oh, you guys got poisoned. Hold on.
Yeah, if I cared about it, I'd get rid of it myself.
That's okay. Panacea is cheap.
Favored soul with Panacea. Wonder how many of those you can find in a year.
I think we are one of the lucky ones that have a heal first mentality favored soul.
Yeah, it was just something I wanted to try, especially with the new Dragonborn.
Oh, soon the
Yeah,
changes
not
are gonna be
me.
great.
My
for
favorite
him.
soul's all melee.
obnoxious.
I tried to make a melee divine with a favored soul and determined that favored soul is not a class I build particularly well. Might have had something to do with the fact that I was trying to use synergy between longswords and have a like 3 levels of monk using the ability that makes you like longswords monk weapons, and it was something of a travesty.
Is there a Reaper somewhere?
He's dead.
Yeah, we just killed him.
It must be. I'm getting nailed.
My second attempt at a
these
favored
beasts are
soul was
annoying.
making
You want an
a
escort?
light-based one.
And that might be actually able to kill these guys if we keep getting slowed.
Do you need an escort? No, there he is. Never mind.
This is one of those quests I think that aged pretty well. It hasn't really gotten particularly easier over the years.
Champions really help this quest maintain.
Well, it also helps that you can't really. The Dorgar are like immune to so many things too, I think.
Hey, there's our warlock.
Yeah, I was most of our defense and offense disappeared this week. I thought.
Hey, I'm offense. What are you talking about?
Hey, you are the best kind of offense.
Ooh, that looks bad.
Not so much.
Oh,
not so much.
Nice.
I can't. Yeah, that guy takes acid heals. That guy.
Good thing you put that bloodstone on this week.
Yeah, didn't hurt. Ooh, remnant.
Good reminder.
See if we can do it twice.
I would hope if you can do the champion, you
Beautiful.
can get the not champion.
Wow. Nice. That was perfect. The fire one?
The room beyond appears to be a temple.
You guys want to get a couple of buffs before we go in? Or not.
No.
Too late.
Alright. That's the spirit.
We don't need no stinking buffs.
There you go.
Yeet.
Oh!
I still got a glass jaw.
That take you out? There we go. Ooh, you guys are out of my range. There we go.
Nice Vorpal.
The Durgar High Priest
Proving that DPS thingy.
of summoning.
Incoming.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. Go get him. I didn't realize I was blowing through the points there.
Luckily, there's a shrine right here.
Yep. Shrining.
Get a D-door?
I actually just got some D-Door scrolls last week. Let's see if I can get it to proc.
Well, I'm wondering if the warlock has D-door.
I am looking on my hotbars, and now I do not have D-Door at this particular time.
We can just walk. It's not. It's not worth the scroll. It's not worth the scroll. Don't use the scroll. Those things are gold.
We got a haste. That's all we need.
And a
The-
will.
That D-door is more about convenience and laziness than necessity.
That's most of life.
Work
I
smarter,
got
not
that
harder.
D-Door scroll trying to grab a ring of spell storing.
Not a bad consolation prize.
Yeah, I didn't complain. I also got a bow of the elements, air, which is not as great.
I keep holding out hope that they'll make shards of the Ring of Spellstoring easier to get.
Is it a random
Yeah, good
chance
luck with
when you
that.
turn those in?
Well, you don't get to turn them in. You can turn scrolls in.
Oh, that's just the scrolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
on the show, we've theorized a couple different ways that they could like make it so you could trade them in, but they never have. I mean, it's not like most of those items are really that good anymore, anyways.
I agree. I think you were right on the money when you said that stuff too.
Granted, the Ring of Spell Storing is probably an outlier in that regards, but you know.
Well, Sword of Shadows. There are a couple.
Yeah, Sword of Shadows is another good one. That one's still really good. There's a Reaper up here by that summoner, I think. No.
Oh, there he is.
And I harp it all the time, but that Kronzek's Cruelty is pretty nice as well.
Lots of lightning on that one.
Just the shrine up there, right?
And boxes.
Yeah.
And a shooting perch.
No more boxes.
And maybe another summoner. Yep.
Yeah, there's some guys over here.
Uh-oh.
Ah, not quick enough. Sorry. That come through?
I'm gonna use my superior range here to my advantage.
Standing right next to
That
it.
one did.
There we go.
Trying to think of anything out of the red fens that's epic that's really still kind of worth it.
I like
Just the gloves and the abrasive combo is pretty decent.
I like the Great Club because it looks outrageous.
Yeah, there's that.
Club of the Scrag or whatever. Yeah. It looks something.
But
like
you can
right out of
glamour
Final
the
Fantasy.
base version of that instead.
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
I'm just trying to think. I'm just trying to go through the list of scroll, seal, shard items that are still good. Sword of Shadows, Ring of Spell Storing. I think the Silver Flame bow and crossbow are pretty good.
Yeah, I think you're right on the money there. The
More
some of the
because they're
newer stuff,
unique
yeah.
than they're like amazing weapons or anything.
Rakshas's Hide, maybe if you're a druid. Although it's slightly worse than the Epic Duelist leathers.
I feel like the chronoscope stuff hasn't aged.
Mostly what I'm wearing right now.
Like the epic stuff, though.
Oh, the Epic, yeah. Yeah, I've just about outlived the heroic stuff. Whoa, Reaper.
Hello,
Oh,
there you went.
Yeah.
We're really getting the Bard sacrifice thing down today.
Yeah, I gotta stop pretending I'm a tank.
That's what I meant when I said we were going to miss Bitter desperately.
Yeah, I was taking advantage of that last week too.
Oh, here comes the champion.
Champion's got a long spear. Ooh, I almost ran backwards into the lava. of those things I never really talk. I don't think I've actually talked about it. The couple times we've done shows and like skills you should learn. Running backwards.
But as you learned there, it can go wrong.
Well, there's certainly there's a skill to it.
Rip has fallen asleep at the keyboard once and ran into a pile of lava.
That was back in the EQ days.
The room here appears to serve as a
When you had to make corpse runs, it was terrible.
guards man both sides of this gateway.
Man down. Oh man, you had a party.
Somebody's out of reach. There we go.
Thank you.
Yeah, that champion's still running around though. Ah. Ooh, that door. Ooh, it just shut behind me.
The epic antique great axe is still a pretty good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I never did get the
Nice
seal for
DR
that.
beater breaker.
Oh man, my roommate's roasting or pan frying garlic. I can smell it.
That can be good or bad.
Oh, it smells delicious. He's making pierogies for dinner tonight. Yeah, I got a roommate that loves making stuff.
The rumbling
Like bakes his own bread about once a
heard
week.
behind the doors here. This must be the barracks.
I wish my roommate could do that.
About at least once a week, I wake up and
We're married.
I'm getting ready for work, and it smells delicious because he's got a loaf of bread in the oven.
Nice.
Wise man, Thrax.
Whoa.
Wise man.
Right into that.
You don't happen to have true sight, do you?
Wow. Hey, Dwarf Hunter. Okay, we're gonna use the shrine.
Chest.
Oh, chest
And
too.
there's a-
Yep.
And there's
It's gonna be that's gonna be a key, isn't it?
be a key. Yep.
Oh yeah.
I might use that shrine when we come back, but I'm gonna wait.
Oh, there's no shrine at the bottom.
I don't think so. I'm well beyond that phase where I've probably forgotten it's more knowledge than I realize. So, especially in these heroic quests. I'm relearning several of them since I've been spending more time in heroics, but for a lot of them, it's kind of that I vaguely remember kind of a thing going on. So to my advantage, I tend to have a pretty above average memory for that kind of stuff, so.
Yeah, I was about to say, your vague recollection has pulled us through quite a bit.
Those are usually not the vague recollections, but.
Ooh, Silver Flame Hymnal.
I mean, I've found people's house before that I've been to once at night. They're like, "How did you find me?" Like, well, I've been here before. Yeah, but it was at night, and it's like a hard place to get into and out of. I'm like, oh. It was 2 lefts, a right, a left, and then 2 more rights. And there was a house here that was kind of a landmark.
Only if I am the passenger will I not remember how to get to your house. Then I'm lost. I'm just there for the ride, I guess.
I remember when I got keys to in a vehicle, right? And I could start driving. We're going to my grandparents.
On that chance.
We're going up to my grandparents, which is about a 2-hour drive away. And we're going out to the garage, and my dad hands me the keys. He said, "All right, take us to Grandma's." I'm like, what? I don't know how to go to Grandma's. And his response is, "You've been going to Grandma's to that house since you were 3. What do you mean you don't know how to get to Grandma's?" He did not help at all.
Yeah, I wish I had grown out of that.
He literally handed me the keys and said, take us to Grandma's, and he didn't say boo about which direction to go. Yeah, I did. As he put it, well, you succeeded. You got us to Grandma's. If you hadn't turned any one of these 3 times, you probably would have had an easier time.
Hey, you found your way.
Well, I mean, because it's on Woodby Island, it's Khyber, Woodby Island. I'm in Seattle, the Seattle area. So I mean, the first part of it's easy, right? You go north for an hour. That was the easy part. I actually successfully though did because at the point where you had to go west, I did not take the normal route. I kind of reasoned my way through that one because my dad always takes this little cut through a town up there called Mount Vernon. And I didn't really know how to do that, and by that time it was pretty clear that Dad was not going to help at all, unless I got like really turned around. And so I knew that he does this little cut between the town.
Another nice purple.
Yeah. He does this little cut through the town there, but I knew that there was a freeway. I'm like, well, it's a freeway and it runs perpendicular to this freeway, so there's gonna be a sign to a freeway, so I'll take that. And I did.
Got a chest over here. I don't know if that's a key one or not.
No. It should be loot. I have some tools. Yeah, once I got to Khyber, that was where things kind of started falling off the rails, although, again, it was a bit of a reasoning of, well, if I keep going that direction, sooner or later I'll run into the water. And Grandma's house, Grandpa's house is on the road that's next to the water. So just, head that direction.
Problem solving 101.
Kind of dead reckoning, half remembering. It worked when I got there.
I think had you gone too far out of the way, he may have given you a hint.
I don't know, maybe. This is the same
Well,
father
made you
who.
stop at a gas station.
Yeah. This is the same father. So, my dad went to the University of Washington, the rivals of who would be Washington State University, UW and WSU. And, I think when I was probably around 8 to 10, he started telling me that he'd disown me if I went to WSU. I'm still only half sure he was joking.
Wow. Well, you didn't find out.
No,
You
I went to
didn't touch
UW.
the boundaries.
From a Husky family. Although his wife went to WSU. His second wife, who he married after I was basically done with college. But she found out that he threatened to disown me, and she was a little upset about that. Because her whole family
had
went to
your best
WSU.
interest in heart.
Well, his response was, "You have to protect your investments." Which was a pretty common type of response from my dad. I think my dad watched Coneheads too many times.
That is hilarious.
You ask him what's for dinner, and the most common answer you get is seared mammal flesh.
Oh, and I am only able to be heard this week because Patrick was kind enough to walk me through it.
Yeah, I need to do a show on broadcasting and stuff, I think. Be helpful for people. Should we do the optional? I think we should do the optional.
I think so.
A cart track stretches down the tunnel to your right. This must be the mining area.
You guys are absolutely nailing that ice stuff.
Yeah, when he's
Yeah,
not busy
investing
tanking, he's pretty
some
handy.
Better stuff. I have a pretty nice freeze bard
A faint glow
based off
emanates from the pocket of
Purple
the
Dragon Knight, and I took a lot of it for
There's a
this
Reaper
one.
in here.
Whoa. The guys.
Who wants the ore? I don't really need an item,
good.
so.
I grabbed one, you grab, well, just grab them as we get them, I guess.
Lost soul,
I don't need them.
I have plenty as well if somebody does actually need them.
Well, you can always save them for adamantine rituals, right?
I'll take them.
So out of the group,
The
the
rest
loot
are
whore
yours,
is
Arcot.
Arcot.
Thank you.
Smart man, smart man.
Yeah, I like to toughen up my quarter staves and stuff like that. So.
Did you see the release notes for patch update 36, patch 2?
Yeah, they did say that they're going to make them last a little longer. So, but I don't know what that means.
They'll probably
Are
break
they
less
raising the durability?
Yeah, of course they. Well, they're not raising their durability. They're supposed to get damaged less quickly.
So they're raising the hardness then. Uh-oh, Fear Reaper.
Something
Well, it didn't sound like they were actually changing the stats. I mean, they could. It could be changing the stats, but it seemed to me like they were either fixing a bug or doing some sort of change that made. Hello, ow. They were changing something that was gonna make them take damage less fast, but not actually the numbers. But that's how I read it. That's not any hard fact or anything.
Well, that's even more vague.
It just said that they're gonna last longer. I think. I could be wrong. It could be durability. And I just wasn't paying
your
attention.
quarterstaffs on Arca.
I have a what do you call it? A monk quarterstaff user. What the hell is it? What's that? The Henshin Mystic. That's what I'm trying to think of. That actually does some pretty hefty amounts of damage, but I just am afraid. It's quarterstaff just break too easily, so I rarely take it out.
I love Henshin Mystic. I wish it was less quarterstaff focused. I think it's the best tree, personally.
I like that Cauldron of Fire a lot. It's really, really cool looking.
Yeah, that looks cool, but just the whole thing, the capstone out of that tree is just clearly the best capstone. It's like +1 to your key generation.
Right. Well, you did the first. You only need like the first 2 or 3 cores, and you get like 20 melee power or something out of it.
Yeah. Well, now it's even better too, because all the stuff out of it is based on like your melee power instead of your spell power, right?
I think so.
That was a nice change.
I'm good on points.
Yeah,
If
I
somebody
think I
else
read
wants to
that.
grab that lost soul.
Incoming Reaper.
Fear Reaper in the back.
Not for long.
Yeah, good job.
Nice.
I think I've determined that the tier 5s out of Arcane Archer are better for leveling up. Particularly since you can get Slayer Arrow before level 12 for some reason. Well, I still think Deepwood Sniper is better at tier 5 and Capstone than Arcane Archer is. The only thing that I think Arcane Archer has going for it is the Slayer Arrow. It does more damage, but it's kind of a one-shot deal, whereas the Deepwood Sniper, you can get an extra 10% damage and when you're not moving around. For boss fights is great.
Yeah, I can never keep the tier 5 abilities straight for either of those. Enhancement
Arcane
trees.
Archer gives a bursting bonus to your elemental weapons and has Slayer Arrow. Deepwood Sniper has a +20 melee and range. I think it's +20 range power and +10 melee power or something in it. Arcane Archer, I think, has a +20%.
Yeah, I think I would tend to go for the range power over a gimmicky one-shot kind of thing.
Well, it has headshot.
Right.
Deepwood Sniper has
There's
headshot.
an ore on that middle thing right there.
Reaper. 2 Reapers.
2 of them.
I mean, when you're leveling, the Slayer Arrow is great. But I think once you get up to like level 18 to 20, Deepwood Sniper really outpaces it. Now, having said that, I mean, I'm like 41 points in Deepwood Sniper and 30 some odd points in Arcane Archer. I mean, they're really compatible with each other.
That was my fault. You've been doing amazing, Thrax.
Remnant. Yeah, the Arcane Archer Capstone gives you 4 dexterity and 20% double shot. The Deepwood Sniper Tree Capstone gives you 4 dexterity, 3 sneak attack dice. You're always in point blank and range sneak attack ranged. 20 spell power for positive and 20 melee and range power.
Always
Yeah,
at
that's
point
pretty
blank
awesome. Pretty
spot.
awesome.
And you can
Nice.
get in tier 5 of Deepwood Sniper, you can get 10% double strike, 20% double shot. So you can cover what you lose out of the Arcane Archer tree. Plus, there's another 5 melee range power with Archer's Focus that you can then the improved Archer's Focus, which means you can go up to 25 stacks instead of 10 stacks or 15 stacks, which means you get another 10% damage there. That's why I've always gone Deepwood Sniper instead of Arcane Archer. The only thing Arcane Archer has is the big one-shot with Slayer Arrow. And Headshot is pretty... I mean, it's not the same, but it does it. It's enough.
You are greeted by a
Yeah, it does a nice amount of damage. Plus, you get that constant, like double shot and melee and range power. It's pretty nice.
The other nice thing about Headshot is it's not... there's no actual spell points with it, right? So you don't ever run out of spell points. Although there's stuff in Arcane Archer that makes that pretty hard to do, too.
Aren't there like breakies on top of these things?
Maybe.
Oh, there's dudes too.
I think there's guy. Yeah, they're like sleeping up there and they come in late or something like that.
Dwargar Shotfirer. How come these dwarves don't have Scottish accents?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Ooh, I don't know if we get another shrine. Oh, there's one.
was an
There's
ore
one in the
right
center.
near the entrance here.
Yeah, I got it. Does anybody need blur or anything?
I still got 16 minutes on mine.
Thank you, though.
I actually have dusk on my arm.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good with blur.
I hadn't actually looked at these since they changed them. I was just taking a quick look.
What did it just put slots in them?
Yeah, 2 slots apiece so far.
Holy cow! Really?
2 slots. Wow, that's pretty good.
Good. That was only the arm. No.
Missed an ore back here.
Docent's good. Yeah. 1 slot for the other items.
Hey, Arcot, you want this ore here?
Ah, yes. Missed it.
What'd you end up with, like 15?
I think that's the what you can. I got 13, so it's cool.
Yeah, I picked up 2, so they're all picked up.
There you go. All accounted for.
When you come out, if you go straight, there's a shrine.
That armor getting 2 slots is actually handy. At one point, it was fairly useful.
I mean, we used to do this for loot runs just because it was one of the few places you could get heavy fortification.
Yep, I remember those
Yep,
days.
yep.
Until Minos
When
Legends.
I was getting my butt kicked in my first life, people, they told me I had to run this. They made me run it.
I don't even think
Although heavy
heavy
fort
fort
isn't-
dropped in random loot at that point.
I'm not 100% on that. I definitely have rings and stuff from back in those days that cover it, but now it's later in the game that you actually get the 100% if you're not getting insight or quality.
Yeah, that's true.
How many people have rings of feathers in the bank?
I got one.
I do. I have one.
Actually, it's not in the bank because I'm
Same
using
here.
it. It's very damaged.
Statues of crowned dwarves line the wall within this room.
I've used it as my my level 1 feather flying item mostly, so it's like half dead now. I might have to retire it at some point. I suppose I could mug
just looks
Arcot
so
for some
nice.
ore. Ow.
Oh,
Medic.
wow.
Yeah, I think I was at full health when he hit me. I'm not even entirely why I got to live at negative 13 either. Incoming.
This is where we got the poison traps.
That's why the road
Correct.
goes first. Hey, you missed a trap.
Brilliance in action.
Nice job.
Hey, you found it.
With my face, again.
Facial trap finding, free feet.
Let's see
Pillars
where
with the
those
poison all
GH
look
pots
the same.
are. I am not seeing a box for that one.
Should be right here.
You found the first one. How come you're not finding that one?
Death penalty, maybe.
There you go.
There we go.
That's voice of the master.
Somebody close the door on my face.
They do that on purpose so that it cuts you off from these armored dudes.
Well, they added the doors in here quite a while after this quest was done, mostly because people just zerged to the top. They did the same thing in CO6 in the first part. Added a bunch of doors because people just run right straight through it. Ooh, Reaper. Ain't the champion.
Boy, they have my number today. We're not going to wipe together maybe, but individually I have proven I can do it on my own.
We're doing pretty good here.
So if you wipe 5 times, that'll be a proxy wipe.
There you go.
There must be a delay on when I can raise you.
Yeah, and Reaper,
Yeah, a
there's
little bit of a delay on Reaper.
It's like 6 seconds per skull, I think. Careful, there's a death priest coming.
So little you can run right under it.
It may take me about 20 seconds to be able to find this one. I think I have
Death penalty.
4 deaths. Yep.
Oop, wrong button.
You can actually run under all of them. It doesn't really matter what size you are. There's also a trick in here. If you run under the first one, you kind of stand in the middle of them, you can get both boxes with one search.
After having gotten blasted in the face a couple times, I'm a little leery.
That's fine. Well, the second one wasn't a trap that killed you. It was the champion.
Fair point, fair point. I can actually spot him again. That's nice.
Yay. It's mostly all the statues. There might be one or two. I think it's like one, maybe two that don't do it, but
Any iPhone users
I never
watch
noticed that.
Any iPhone users watch the presentation today?
no. I heard about it.
I saw the phone. It looks beautiful.
I saw there was a little video on Facebook. I saw it.
The coolest thing they did was because the Watch 3, is a phone now, and he called some gal wearing from his watch to her watch, and she was out in the middle of San Francisco Bay on one of those big old circles. And while she was paddling, she was talking, and her voice didn't change pitch or tone as she's moving her arms while she was paddling. So that part was kind of impressive.
That is impressive. I was about to say the exact words.
I'm not sure how I feel about the face unlock. Because, you know, with the...
That's only on the 10.
Isn't that what they were unveiling?
No, they had the iPhone 8 and then the 10.
Oh.
The 10 is more expensive. The 10, if you just buy it and buying it not on a data plan, it's a solid $1,000.
Yeah. I was just thinking when I saw that, it was like, oh, that's kind of neat, but right now, if someone wants to steal my phone and use it, they just cut off my thumb. If it's the face thing, they might cut off my head. You know, it would suck, but my thumb I can live without. Or as a carpenter for 10 years, it's always kind of been in the back of my head of, you know, losing a finger is a possibility. Not a desired one, but a possibility. Losing my head, though, that's problematic.
That's realistic thinking.
Losing my head's realistic thinking?
No, the thumb as a
Yeah.
carpenter.
Actually, we just got a saw stop this year, finally, which is awesome. Those are the saws that you can stick a hot dog into, and it like just stops the blade immediately.
Do they sense moisture? Is that what I heard?
It's like the electrical current, actually. They're really cool machines. You can they're really hard to cut yourself with. They make them pretty idiot proof.
A sword hangs
Like you can't even turn the saw on
maybe
if
we
you have
should
any of the
back up
doors
here.
open.
in this room.
Yeah, fine.
Hard gaze of the man standing behind it draws your attention.
My blur ran out. They're great machines. It's one of those things that you don't really understand why everyone doesn't have one of these, and like why any table saw on the market does not do what this saw does.
Well, it's probably fairly expensive.
Not really. Not. Well, okay, it might be a little bit more expensive, like a couple $100 for that stuff, but it's
the medical bill.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
I'm not that guy.
Actually, I was doing research on them, and the guy that I was at the store or the wood shop place that sells them, and he was kind of showing me, the owner of the store was showing me around and stuff. He's like, "Oh yeah, I've got a client that's a neurosurgeon who's put fingers back on my other clients."
Life is all about networking.
You're right. But I mean, if you're like school shops, like there is no reason not to have one of these things.
Oh, absolutely. I think it'd be irresponsible, almost criminal, not to have it now that it's out.
Yeah. Well, they actually, the guy who invented the technology took it all to the big manufacturer and said, "Hey, I have this technology that you can put in your saws for like a couple $100 a unit, and no one will ever cut their fingers off again," and they wouldn't buy it.
That's negligence. I'm sorry.
I think actually people have tried to may have actually sued and won on that grounds. I can't remember if that story was something that was like a rumor or something that I'm not even really remembering correctly, or if it actually happened. But
Well, allowing teenagers around deadly objects and being able to prevent that, I couldn't see that not being negligence.
voice time. No, like the manufacturers, like somebody cut off their finger on a saw, and sued the manufacturers because they had the option to build their saws with this technology for years and never did.
Wow, thanks
Oh,
guys.
wow.
That's the most XP I ever got out of this quest.
Wow, 33.6 is what I pulled.
Yeah, it's a lot.
31,000 something for me.
All right. Well, thanks for
Very
watching
nice.
DDOCaSplat. We'll be back next Tuesday, hopefully with Bitter. Weather
Yeah, we miss you better.
recovery we're permitting. And to him and all the people who are dealing with hurricanes, we wish you the best
Absolutely.
and hope
All
you're
of our hearts.
and again, if you have the ability and the means to support those folks that are recovering, please do so. We'll be back Tuesdays, 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. Don't forget to watch DDOCast on the weekends. You can follow me at DDOCast to find out when those shows are going to be. Thanks for watching.